Hey guys, it's Omer from MMOs.com, and we'll do another quick weekly news recap of all major MMO news and announcements for the week ending December 7th, 2015. This is episode number 20 of the recap, and I'm back in Vegas, so no more reverb/echoes, as you can already tell. Anyways, the first bit of news this week comes from Final Fantasy XIV. The news is that for the entire month of December, anyone who has ever purchased Final Fantasy XIV in the past can return to the game for free. They're calling it the free login campaign, and it's an interesting way to get older players to return to the game to give it another try. They're basically trying to entice former players to give the game another try and explore all of the game's new content up to patch 3.1. One odd aspect of this promotion though is that players are limited to a total of 96 hours. Next up, Dungeon Fighter Online's Act 7, The Girl on Fire, just launched this week, and with the update comes Kunoichi, the new thief advancement. She's a master of the chakra weapon and shonen ninjutsu, and as with the launch of every new advancement and update, Dungeon Fighter Online Act 7 features an awesome gameplay trailer showing off Kunoichi and her abilities. Seriously though, Dungeon Fighter Online always has awesome gameplay trailers, even with its retro graphics. Up next, Age of Wushu Dynasty from Snell Games will officially be launching globally sometime in January 2016, making it only a month away. The game has already undergone a set of closed beta testing on both Google Play and Test Flight on iOS, which gives Snell Games some time to polish it up. I actually played the game myself for a bit in closed beta, but it didn't really do it for me. But then again, I'm still iffy on mobile games. The trailer does look pretty cool though, which we're seeing right now. It is a mobile game though, and expect more of these in the near future. And restore the balance of the Jianghu. I was unaware the balance was off, but apparently it is. Next up, MapleStory Reboot launched this week, which is an entirely new version of MapleStory, which aims to be a bit more hardcore as enemies will be more difficult, but also yield more experience. It's basically an entirely new version of the game which will be available on its own server. With the launch of MapleStory Reboot though, there was a bit of controversy regarding a pay-to-win item. Nexon intended to sell an item called Mesosax, which sounds oddly inappropriate for some reason, in the game's cash shop, but players insisted it was pay-to-win, so Nexon actually listened to their community and took the item out. Nexon promises no pay-to-win items in MapleStory Reboot, and as a fan of the MapleStory series, I'll be checking this game out. I don't know why, but I find Mesosax pretty funny. Moving right along, a bit of news from Paladins. This time around, Paladins patch 0.8 launched this week, and it introduced the first new champion to the game, called Evie the Winter Witch. And she's a new champion that's focused on deception and mobility. It's actually a pretty annoying enemy to play against, because I've seen her quite a bit this week. Along with the new champion, there's a bunch of other changes to the core gameplay, namely the siege engine now is automatically destroyed upon taking down a wall, which drags on the game a little bit, but it's a nice change overall. Evie is also the first new champion since closed beta began for Paladins. I had a lot of fun playing it this weekend too, so I am looking forward to the full launch. Up next, a bit of international news for everyone. Monster Hunter Online is launching its open beta on December 17th in China, unfortunately. However, on the positive side, there will be no IP blocks for Monster Hunter Online, so anyone that wants to check out the game can do so. But you will need a QQ account, and there's a guide on MMOs.com how to do that, so do check that out if you want to play. It is published by Tencent, so if you have an account with them, you are good to go. They're the same company behind Moonlight Blade, so if you played that game internationally, you can play this one as well. Do keep in mind though, the game was developed specifically for the Chinese market, so do not expect a Western release date anytime soon, if ever. Next up, 2 updates for Fiesta Online. Yes, you heard that correctly, Fiesta Online from Gamigo. It's an older MMORPG, but it still has a pretty loyal fan base. The 2 patches, dubbed community patches, introduce several things to the game, including increased XP rewards for quests, increased mob respawns in some zones, as well as rebalances to the archer class. Now this isn't exactly a big update, but I felt it was worth mentioning because it's an older game, but it's still getting some love from the developer/publisher. So I'll give it a little clap to Gamigo for not completely ignoring the game. It's got a small player base, but people still do play it. And the video you're seeing in the background is an older official trailer for the game. I remember when I first played Fiesta myself, back when Outspark published it forever ago. But yeah, this is an oldie. Up next, a bit of news from AD2460, a game that most people probably have not heard of, mainly because it's a subscription-based strategy game, an odd combination considering most of these games are browser-based and free. On December 7th, which is today, the game has officially went free-to-play with its 7th major patch. The game was subscription-based in the past, and now they're going free-to-play. It's noteworthy because it's yet another game embracing the free-to-play model. So given that the game is free-to-play now, there's questions arise whether the game will be pay-to-win or not, considering most of these strategy games are pay-to-win. I suspect the developers launched the game with a subscription model to avoid that problem, but we'll see if we run into it now. They did promise it will be entirely not pay-to-win, but we'll find out soon enough. And even for a browser-based strategy game, the graphics are not that appealing. However, it is yet another subscription-based game that went free to play. Up next, we have some pretty big news regarding Star Citizen Alpha 2.0, which was just unveiled, including now anyone can play Star Citizen for free until December 14th, so it is free to play until then. So players can actually get a glimpse at what the game is all about right now. And I'm not going to lie, this trailer looks pretty incredible. However, I'll believe it when I see it, but I'm not going to lie, this trailer does look pretty hype. The entire game itself still remains far from release. However, I mean, it's still making some progress. I do remain skeptical, however, whether it'll actually release with all the promised features or not. But right now, you could check the game out. It is a staggering 35 GB download, though, so I'll just check it out myself just to see what's going on. But I do remain skeptical still. And moving right along, also in the sci-fi department, Digital Extremes announced Warframe's latest update, The Second Dream, this week, which is the game's biggest update yet. The update is set to introduce a whole bunch of new features to the game, including an entirely new Warframe. The new Warframe is named Ivara, and she's a stealthy, bow-wielding huntress. Also including the update is a new endgame sortie system, as well as a new PvP map, Orokin Moonbase, as well as a new weapon, the sniper rifle. And for those that are unfamiliar with Warframe, it's actually one of the most popular free-to-play titles out there, so if you haven't played it yet, it's worth checking out. Next and last bit of news, which is oddly interesting, is from ZeniMax Online regarding the Elder Scrolls Online. ZeniMax launched the Million Reasons to Play contest for the game, which offers a staggering $1 million prize to one lucky player who signs up for the contest and plays the game between now and January 10th, 2016. I mean, who wouldn't want to win $1 million? It's a little bit iffy because they're giving $1 million to one person rather than smaller prizes to everyone, which I think makes more sense. However, in order to be eligible, you have to log in and have an account for the game. I kind of wish they were a little more creative about the contest rather than just logging in. Like, if you kill a certain number of monsters, you get an entry for every time you kill them. That way it encourages some actual interaction rather than just logging in and that's it. But yeah, that's it for MMO news this week. I'll see you guys tomorrow for the podcast. Anyway guys, later.